News 12's Kay Blevins introduces us to those working to make a difference in your community with Kay.
Welcome back, everyone. We are learning more about a new film that is coming to the IMAX theater right here in Chattanooga. We're also learning about an event that is coming up next week, and Thom Benson is here to tell us all about it. We're going to the Arctic, Thom.
That's right. So we just had your travel segment earlier, and so we're going to take you on a virtual trip to the North Pole. And so a lot of people have been talking about the North Pole during Christmas, and we're going to learn about the animals and the people that live there. A very special place, different than Antarctica. This is a BBC Earth production that really takes you both above and below the surface of the ocean to see water in all its forms, liquid and frozen, and how the animals and people adapt to living in this frozen place. Gorgeous cinematography, and on that giant 6-story screen with the IMAX with laser projection system, this is a fantastic film. Again, some of the iconic creatures that you would expect to see, such as polar bears and harp seals and walruses, but you get to know Arctic wolves and narwhals. People are nuts about narwhals. Some people think they're mythical creatures. They look like it, and you'll actually get to see them again in this film, Arctic, Our Frozen Planet.
It's really neat to be able to go to the IMAX theater and see films like this, because these are parts of the world that some of us may never get to see in person.
May never get to see, exactly. And so again, even if you were to travel to these places, having the up-close encounters with some of these amazing animals like you have in these films probably wouldn't happen on your average trip. So it's a great chance to travel from Greenland to Siberia to northern Canada and Alaska, and again, meet some of the people that live throughout the seasons. This takes you through an entire year. That was a hooded seal, by the way, that has sort of a...
I noticed that. What was that?
It's like a balloon-like feature that they have that they can inflate. I think kids will get a big kick out of that. Speaking of kids, there's a really good educator guide that goes with this film. So I think teachers looking for an opportunity to have a learning experience, that educator guide is based on science standards across the country. So it will really mesh well with a lot of science lessons. And you'll be able to compare animals in the Arctic and the way that they survive this harsh environment to animals that live right around here. For example, Arctic wolves and the red wolves that you can see at the Nature Center, Arctic hares and the eastern cottontails that live in our backyard, and some of these other creatures that occasionally visit, like snowy owls. You get a chance to get up close to them too.
Yes, we did see that a couple of years ago as well. Let's talk about what's going to be taking place on the 11th.
Right, so we're going to do a double feature. We're going to call it the Pole to Pole Expedition because we're going to show another BBC Earth production, Antarctica 3D, and this is a great opportunity to see how the poles, while they have a lot of similarities, are very different. For example, the Arctic is an ocean that's surrounded by continents, and Antarctica is a continent surrounded by oceans, and the animal life is very, very different. If people walk away with only one takeaway from this, it's that penguins and polar bears don't live together. Penguins are at the South Pole, and polar bears are at the North Pole, of course, but you get a chance to see how the ocean life and what's below the surface there. Spectacular coral reefs, believe it or not, under the ice sheet in Antarctica. These dazzling sea stars. You get to see amazing time lapses, and then you get a chance to get up close to penguin species like the ones, gentoos and macaronis, that you can see at the Tennessee Aquarium, and huge whales and how they feed and live off the tiniest animals in the world, those krill that thrive underneath the Antarctic ice sheet. So it's really an amazing opportunity to see what life is like at both poles. This will take place again Thursday, January 11th. We'll start the films promptly at 6 p.m. so you want to get there a little bit earlier and then have a chance to learn a little bit more about why the poles are important, because we have a special guest speaker, Dr. Marshall Shepard, who is the director of the University of Georgia's Climate Sciences program. And he's a highly respected climate scientist. He's been on all the network shows, including CBS This Morning, and a lot of the network shows, and he writes for Forbes and other major publications. So it's a real opportunity to learn how important the poles are for dictating climate and weather, even in places far from the poles like here in the southeast.
Absolutely. If folks are out there, they want to get some tickets to this, they want to go, how do they do that, Thom?
Yeah, so tickets will be available online, and you can also just go up to the box office. I think on Thursday evening we'll have a lot of people who will be interested in this and want to see the double feature, because that's the only time that it's offered, but you'll be able to purchase those tickets right there at the box office the day off.
Go check it out, folks. So educational right here in our community, and it's such an experience to be immersed in the IMAX theater. Thank you, Tom, so much for being here with us and giving us this information on how folks can check out the films.
Thank you.
All right, if you would like some more information about this interview, please go to our website at WDEF.com.